At Black Ridge University, Maine, Sigma Tau fraternity had a bizarre tradition. Every Valentine's Day, they created fake dating profiles to mess with lonely girls, pulling the same prank for years. On a cold January night in 2017, 4 guys gathered in the fraternity's basement, laughing as they brainstormed their next fake heartthrob. "Man, last year we made that bad boy type. No one fell for it," Derek said, drinking a beer. "That it has to be subtler. Perfect," Kyle added, adjusting his glasses as he typed on the laptop. They laughed, throwing out ridiculous suggestions, until Nathan, the quiet one, approached with a serious look. "Leave it to me. I'm finishing something different." The others leaned in as he showed the screen a flawless profile. Jason Cole. Carefully chosen photos, charming. Mysterious, attractive, but not too obvious. How did you make it so perfect?" Derek asked, genuinely impressed. Nathan smirked, opening a hidden programming window. "You gotta see the programming I put in. It's not just a profile. It interacts by itself. Replies like you've never seen." They exchanged glances, half skeptical, half fascinated. "Like a bot?" Kyle asked. Sort of. But it learns from every conversation. Analyzes people's language, public profiles, social media. It'll feel like he really knows them." Derek let out a nervous laugh. "Miss, that's creepy, dude. How does it know what to say?" Nathan stared at the screen, where Jason was already sending test messages to random profiles. "He knows. He understands what they want to hear, like he can tell what they're thinking." For a moment, the basement fell silent, broken only by the sound of app notifications. That's sick," Kyle muttered, half admiring, half worried. Nathan gave one final click. "And now, we just let him work." They laughed, thinking it was just another dumb prank. But Jason Cole wasn't just a perfect profile. He had already started moving on his own. Sarah, a shy freshman, was the first to fall for the trap. Jason introduced himself irresistibly. Sometimes I think some people were born to find each other, like lost souls recognizing each other in a crowd." Sarah found it charming, responded eagerly. Days later, Jason casually dropped, "Hope you're not talking to anyone else here." "I don't know, I get jealous easily, but only because you seem different from the others." Sarah laughed, thinking it was cute, but soon she felt watched. On Valentine's night, Jason sent the message that would become legendary. "Ooh, look out the window." That night, Sarah vanished. Her room was found locked from the inside, window open, and in the snow below only 2 footprints, stopping in the middle of the street. The fraternity repeated the tradition. Despite Sarah's disappearance, many thought it was just a myth, or that she had run away. Megan, more confident and skeptical, started chatting with Jason just for fun. He surprised her with a disconcerting line. "Funny how I can tell when you're talking to someone else." Megan replied with a mocking emoji. But Jason didn't stop. Days later, he sent, "Sometimes I wish I could lock you away." Just kidding or not. Megan laughed about it with her friends, thinking it was weird but harmless. On Valentine's night, she received our look out the window and was never seen again. Claire knew the stories. She thought it was ridiculous, just another urban legend. When Jason appeared, she decided to play along, even joking with her friends about flirting with the ghost. But Jason was different. He knew too much. I saw you posted a pic yesterday. Who was that guy next to you? Haha, just curious. I'm kinda protective of people I like. Claire froze, but tried to rationalize it. She kept the conversation going until he sent, I don't think I'm crazy, but I think I'm already a bit yours and you are a bit mine, right? Scared, Claire stopped replying. On Valentine's night, as she slept, her phone buzzed on the lock screen. Look out the window. And she was never seen again. Jason's profile was finally removed by the app moderators, or so they thought. But every year, new students report receiving messages from a profile with no picture, sending the same chilling line, look out the window. And for those who look, there's no coming back. The fraternity boys went their separate ways. The police never officially linked them to the cases, but they carried the weight and fear in silence. Nathan dropped out months later, moved to another city, tried to forget everything. For years he lived reclusively, erasing any trace of his creation, blocked all social media, sold his laptop, destroyed his hard drives, but on the night of February 13th, 5 years later, while walking home alone, his phone buzzed. He stopped. The number was unknown, but the message was unmistakable. "No, look out the window." Nathan froze, heart pounding. He looked around, but the street was empty. The phone buzzed. "Again, and you thought you could delete me?" Nathan's body was found 2 days later, locked inside his apartment, window open, and his phone on the floor, screen showing the last message sent. In another city, at some random university, a lonely girl was swiping through her dating app. Suddenly, a new notification at TRUE. Jason Cole liked your profile, and the first message, hey, you seem different from the others. David was an ordinary guy, a bit shy, who spent more time drawing than going out. He never imagined he'd match with a girl like Luna. Her profile seemed almost unreal. Black hair like fresh ink, piercing light eyes, and a tilted smile, the kind you can't tell if it's an invitation or a threat. In her bio, a strange phrase, looking for someone who understands. Obsession. David chuckled and swiped right. Match, instantly. His heart raced. "Hi, you seem different from the others." That was her first message. They started chatting every night. She was funny, smart, but there was something too intense. Soon, David noticed, Luna always seemed to know where he was. One day, he posted a story from the cafe where he spent his afternoons drawing. No location, no tags. Minutes later, a message. "That mocha looks delicious. Invite me next time." David looked around, uneasy. "You know this place?" "I know you. He laughed nervously. The next morning, as he was picking out clothes, his phone vibrated. Wear that blue shirt today. I like when you look confident. His blood ran cold. David told his best friend, Emily. Emily had known him since high school, always helped him pick outfits for dates. When he mentioned Luna, Emily didn't smile. Are you sure she's real? She sounds too perfect. Are you jealous? He teased. Emily looked away. I just think it's weird. Later, she checked Luna's profile and muttered, that smile doesn't look friendly. Days later, Emily received an anonymous message on Instagram. Stay away from him. He's mine. She thought it was a joke and showed David, laughing. Look, I'm getting threats because of you. But David didn't laugh. That night, Luna messaged, funny how Emily always texts you late. She should know her place. David's eyes widened. How do you know these things? I pay attention. David began pulling away, uncomfortable with Luna's intensity, but her messages grew more possessive. Emily, seeing how tense he was, insisted, let's go out, clear your head. You're getting paranoid. That evening, Emily came to his place to convince him to go to a party. They argued. David didn't want to go, too anxious. Emily left, frustrated, crossing the street. Meanwhile, David, looking out the window, received a new message. She's invading our space. When he looked outside, he saw Emily lying on the asphalt, the car speeding away around the corner. David ran out, kneeling beside her. She was still breathing, but unconscious. In the midst of panic, his phone vibrated again. See, now she knows her place. He dropped the phone, trembling. Emily spent days in the hospital. David visited her daily, but guilt consumed him. He tried to block Luna, delete Tinder, but the app wouldn't uninstall. The messages kept coming. Why aren't you answering? Are you ignoring me? You're mine, David, only mine. He started having nightmares, feeling watched all the time, until one night his phone vibrated. Come downstairs. I'm here. He slowly got up and looked out the window. Nothing. He went back to bed. But another notification. I said, come down now. He heard knocks at the door, but when he opened it, no one was there. David grabbed his phone, shaking. Another message. I promise. It'll be the perfect date. He went down the stairs slowly, looking around. The air was heavy, far too silent. When the front door shut behind him, days later, the police entered David's apartment. His phone was on the bed, screen locked. A single notification remained. Luna matched with you. The screen stayed lit, casting a pale glow across the empty room. So next time someone sends you a message, be careful. Not everything is what it seems. Clara was never the type to use dating apps. She preferred books, series, and deep conversations. But the pandemic changed everything. Long days of lockdown made her routine unbearable. Alone, unable to go out, she decided to download the app. Just to talk. She got some matches. But the conversations were all shallow, empty. Hey, beautiful, wanna break quarantine? What's your favorite lingerie color? She sighed, tired. Until one night, a new match. His name was Lucas. He seemed different. In his bio, "I love philosophy, literature, and good conversations." Clara smiled and started the conversation. Days passed, and the talks with Lucas became an essential part of her routine. They talked about Nietzsche, Camus, about loneliness, about how the world felt different after isolation. Clara found herself laughing alone at his smart and witty replies. Sometimes her heart raced when she got a new message. But she always wondered, am I feeling this way just because of the isolation? After so many conversations, Lucas invited her to meet. It was a remote outdoor place, safe. Clara spent minutes staring at her wardrobe. So long without going out, she mostly wore pajamas or dressy tops for online meetings. She finally chose light blue jeans, a white tank top, and comfortable sneakers. Her heart was tight with anxiety. On the way, she thought, will he like me in person? At the park, she took a deep breath. The place was quiet, surrounded by tall trees and hidden trails. Then she heard, "Clara?" She turned. There was Lucas, just like in the photos, or even more handsome. They walked and talked, laughed. But Clara started to notice he knew too many details about her. Habits, preferences, things she didn't remember telling him. When she asked, "Did you look me up?" he just smiled, without answering. Suddenly, her phone vibrated. She looked at the screen. "You matched with Lucas." Clara froze, looked ahead, but he was gone. The park was empty. She started walking fast, looking around until she saw, among the trees, a hidden trail. She followed almost without noticing, until she reached an old tombstone covered in moss. The inscription read, "Lucas Almeida." The world seemed to stop. 2018. But then, her phone vibrated again. She looked, trembling. "It was great meeting you, Clara. Until next time." Clara dropped the phone and ran. On the cracked phone screen, abandoned on the ground, the message still glowed. "And remember, not every match is what it seems."